They parked in her driveway every single day. When she finally snapped, the whole neighborhood couldn't believe what she did. Maya Wilson was fuming, standing at her window watching yet another car pull into her driveway like they owned it. The fourth one today. These people had some nerve. At 42, Maya had scraped and saved for 15 years to buy this small brick house in Portland. Not because she inherited money, not because she married rich. She'd worked 2 jobs, lived in a basement apartment, and sacrificed vacations to make it happen. Now her dream home was becoming a nightmare because of entitled neighbors. It started 3 months ago. Construction began on the popular cafe across the street. Suddenly, their small parking lot wasn't enough. Customers started using Maya's driveway instead. The first time, Maya left a polite note. "Private property, please don't park here." The notes were ignored, crumpled, thrown on her lawn. Maya installed a "no parking" sign. Someone tore it down overnight. She confronted the cafe owner, Daniel, a man with a designer haircut and a dismissive smile. "Look," he shrugged, "street parking is public. What do you want me to do?" "My driveway isn't street parking." Maya's voice shook. "Your customers are blocking me in. I was late to work twice last week." Daniel barely looked up from his phone. "Not my problem. Maybe leave earlier?" Maya's jaw clenched. The cafe was trendy, popular with a new wave of residents moving into her historically black neighborhood. People who paid $7 for coffee but couldn't spare basic respect for those who'd lived there for years. She called the police. They came, took notes, left, did nothing. "Civil matter," they said. The next day, Maya found her trash cans knocked over. Coincidence? She doubted it. The final straw came on a rainy Tuesday. Maya, already running late for her hospital shift, found 3 cars blocking her driveway completely. She couldn't get out. Maya called the towing company. 2-hour wait, the dispatcher said. She missed her shift. As a nurse practitioner, people were counting on her. A written warning went into her file. That evening, Maya watched from her porch as cafe patrons continued using her driveway, laughing, sipping expensive drinks, completely oblivious to her existence. Something inside Maya cracked, really cracked. She tried being reasonable, tried following the rules, gotten nowhere. Fine, time for a new approach. That night, Maya made 3 trips to the hardware store, bought supplies, made preparations, let them think they'd won, let them get comfortable using her property. But Maya had a plan that would make sure none of these entitled people would ever park in her driveway again. The next morning, Maya called in sick, pulled on work gloves, and waited. By 9 a.m., the first car pulled into her driveway, a shiny Tesla with custom plates. Tech bro. Perfect. Maya watched the driver stroll into the cafe, not a care in the world. She gave him 15 minutes to get comfortable with his avocado toast. Then she got to work. 4 hours later, Maya sat on her porch, sipping lemonade, watching the chaos unfold. The Tesla owner returned first, phone pressed to his ear, stopping dead when he saw his car. His precious Tesla now surrounded by a waist-high cinder block wall, completely enclosed. "What the—" He sprinted to the small structure, circling it in disbelief. "Who did this? Who did this?" Maya raised her glass. "Beautiful day, isn't it?" His face turned purple. "Did you do this? This is vandalism. I'll sue you." "For what?" Maya asked calmly. "Building on my own property?" "Interesting legal theory." The man sputtered, pulling at the blocks, finding them surprisingly solid. "You can't just trap my car." "Actually," Maya pulled out her phone, "I have security footage of you trespassing on private property multiple times. Want to talk about what's legal?" By now, a crowd had gathered. The cafe owner pushed through, face red with anger. "What the hell is this?" Daniel demanded. "This?" Maya gestured broadly. is what happens when you ignore someone's property rights for 3 months straight. Take it down, Daniel growled, stepping closer. Now. Maya didn't flinch. I don't think I will. People were filming now, phones raised, capturing the standoff. The Tesla owner paced, screaming into his phone about lawyers. You have no right, a woman in yoga pants shouted from the crowd. Maya laughed, actually laughed. That's rich, talking about rights while you people use my property like a public parking lot. Every single day. Another car pulled into what remained of her driveway, a BMW convertible. The driver, a blonde woman in designer sunglasses, took in the scene. What's happening? Is this some kind of art installation? This, Maya gestured to the walled-in Tesla, is the consequence of entitlement. The woman snorted. Whatever, I'm just getting coffee. She started walking away. I wouldn't leave your car there, Maya called after her. The woman flipped her off without turning around. Maya shrugged and reached for her phone. Time for phase 2. Within 20 minutes, a massive tow truck rumbled up. The driver, Big Mike, was Maya's cousin. He'd been happy to help when she explained the situation. Which one? He asked, nodding toward the BMW. The crowd watched in stunned silence as Mike hooked up the BMW. The blonde woman ran out of the cafe just as her car began lifting off the ground. Stop! What are you doing? She screeched. Maya handed her a printed card. Removing an unauthorized vehicle from private property. Retrieval fee is $350. Cash only. You can't do this? Already am. Maya pointed to the newly installed sign at the edge of her property, larger and mounted in concrete this time. No parking. Violators will be towed at owner's expense. I didn't see any sign. The woman was nearly hysterical now. Not my problem, Maya echoed Daniel's words back perfectly. Maybe pay better attention? The BMW disappeared down the street, its owner running after it, heels clacking on the pavement. Daniel stepped forward, lowering his voice. Look, let's be reasonable. How much? How much what? How much to end this? To take down that wall? Maya studied him. You think this is about money? Everything's about money, he scoffed. Name your price. Respect, Maya said simply, something you clearly can't afford. More cars were arriving now, more entitled people looking for convenient parking. They slowed, seeing the commotion, the trapped Tesla, the missing BMW. Most drove away. Smart ones, one didn't. A red Audi pulled right up, its driver, a man in an expensive suit barely glancing at the scene before heading for the cafe. Maya nodded to Mike. He grinned and repositioned his tow truck. By noon, Maya's quiet street had become a spectacle. 3 cars trapped behind her quickly constructed cinder block walls. 2 more towed, the cafe nearly empty because customers couldn't park. Local news had arrived. A reporter approached, microphone extended. Ma'am, can you explain what's happening here today? Maya looked directly into the camera. I'm teaching a master class in consequences. Her phone buzzed with notifications. Someone had posted videos online. They were going viral. Driveway justice was trending. Daniel was panicking now, watching his business empty out. He stormed over to Maya, his designer haircut disheveled from running his hands through it. Fine, you win. I'll tell my customers to stop parking here. Just end this circus. Maya took a slow sip of her lemonade. Funny how you suddenly care about my property now that it affects yours. She set down her glass and stood. 3 months, Daniel. 3 months of asking nicely. 3 months of being ignored and disrespected. 3 months of being late to work because I couldn't get out of my own driveway. She looked him dead in the eyes. Now you want instant results? That's not how this works. Not anymore. What do you want? Daniel's voice cracked with desperation as he watched another potential customer drive past his empty cafe. Maya smiled. Not a nice smile. I want exactly what I've always wanted. For people to respect my property. She pulled out a folder and handed him a document. Here's how this ends. A formal agreement that you'll post signs in your cafe directing customers not to park in my driveway. You'll mention it verbally to every new customer, and you'll pay for the installation of proper no parking signs around my property. Daniel scanned the paper, relief washing over his face. That's it? Fine, whatever. I'm not finished, Maya's voice hardened. You'll also reimburse me for the 3 parking tickets I got at work because I had to park illegally when your customers blocked me in. And you'll write a formal apology to be posted in your cafe window for 1 month. Daniel's face flushed. An apology? That's ridiculous. More ridiculous than stealing someone's driveway? Than costing them wages? Than dismissing their valid concerns for months? Maya crossed her arms. Your choice. Sign it or I keep the walls up. Your customers stay trapped. The towing continues. He glared at her, then snatched the pen she offered, signed with an angry flourish. Smart decision, Maya nodded. Mike, let's start taking down the first wall. The Tesla owner rushed forward. Finally, you'll be hearing from my lawyer. Maya handed him a bill. Construction removal fee, $500. You can't be serious. Dead serious. You parked illegally. These are the consequences. I'm not paying this. Maya shrugged. Then your car stays right where it is. My property, my rules. He fumed, pulled out his wallet, and counted out bills. This is extortion. No, Maya corrected. This is a life lesson. By sunset, all walls were down. All cars returned after their owners paid the fees. Maya's driveway stood empty for the first time in months. The next morning, new signs surrounded her property. Professional ones. In the cafe window hung a typed apology from Daniel, admitting to enabling customer trespassing and promising to do better. Maya sat on her porch, enjoying coffee from a local black-owned shop 2 blocks away. Her phone kept buzzing, interview requests from news outlets, supportive messages from people who'd faced similar entitlement. A week later, Maya was watering her garden when an elderly neighbor approached. You know, the woman said, leaning on her cane, I've lived here 40 years. Watched this neighborhood change, people moving in, thinking the rules don't apply to them. She patted Maya's arm. What you did, standing up like that, gave a lot of us courage. Maya noticed something new. People driving by her house slowed down, read the signs, and kept moving. No one tried to park in her driveway. Daniel nodded respectfully whenever their paths crossed. The entitled attitude that had infected her neighborhood had been challenged and lost. Because that's the thing about entitlement. It thrives when unchallenged. It withers when faced with consequences. Maya had tried being nice. She tried asking politely. She tried playing by rules that others ignored. Sometimes you have to draw your own boundaries, with cinder blocks if necessary. What would you do if someone kept taking what was rightfully yours? Would you keep asking nicely, or would you build walls like Maya? Hit subscribe and drop a comment below. Remember, respect isn't just given. Sometimes it has to be built 1 block at a time.